Das leiste und yes, we are live. So welcome to eVision Live with Dr. Alexandra Kleeberg and Bettina Flossmann and
Dietrich Busacker.
Myself, I'm Dietrich Busacker. So welcome to this special eVision Live. We are we're having a complete new project which we call Beyond Lumps and Bumps, and this
Bumps and Dumps.
So we don't want dumps, but we have talking about people who have challenges with specific diseases around cancer. And we are talking also about people, inviting people who are working in this field with patients who are suffering from cancer. And well, you're going to tell us immediately what is all this broadcast is all about, this project is all about. So we are going to have an interactive communication with the participants. You can join us via Zoom. You find in the Facebook, you find the link where you can join us with Zoom, and there you can ask us questions. And once you are in, you're getting directly into this room. You can then ask questions, and so hopefully we have a live participation. We didn't have a lot of time to do promotion for this before, so we are just making a soft launch of this. So Alexandra and Bettina, you know them maybe already, because Bettina already, we interviewed her on eVision Live, I think on the 10th and our 12th episode. We are now on episode 55. And Bettina and Alexandra also have something to celebrate. So I leave the floor and I will go into moderation models.
Okay. Hello, welcome to Beyond Bumps and Dumps. We didn't want to call it a program about cancer because it sort of structures our mind if we hear the word cancer, and for you it's a call for life, right?
Yes, yes.
So we called it Beyond Bumps and Dumps. Maybe next time we can call it Call for Life or something like that. So you have a healing path from cancer to happiness.
Yes.
From problem to chance. Maybe you want to say something about it. We just met a year ago.
Yes, we met a year ago. I contacted you because at that point I felt very stable on my journey. And I felt, I have something to share. And I knew that you were very interested in healing stories of people. So I contacted you, and since then so much has happened. Yeah.
We did a lot of speeches together, projects together,
Yes.
And this is our new project. And we will meet once a month in an open office hours, so to say, to answer questions and to contact you. Our goal is to take off the threatening of cancer, the darkness, and to put in light and future and positivity.
Yes.
And to give it back to our own responsibility, to take it back from the outside to the inside. And you have a lot of exercises and images you practice so that you came into this lightness. And I really love that. That before I met you, cancer was always, oh, this is dark, this is terrible, this has a negative prognosis. And we just did this German eVision Live on cancer, Beyond Bumps and Dumps, and you were so light and cheerful. And I think it must be really weird for people to watch, to see you like this. You're very happy for your cancer.
Well, yes,
I'm grateful.
Firstly, I live in the consciousness that I'm absolutely healthy,
Mm-hmm.
And I feel absolutely healthy. And I think that's part of the journey that I went from fear to this place where I'm at now, that I just feel very, very happy and very grateful, and that this diagnosis has actually completely transformed my life, and I have transformed myself,
and it woke you up.
It shook me. It really shook me up. Yeah, I guess that's what I needed. Yeah, I think a wake-up call. Yeah, it's a gift. It's a great gift. Yeah, for me it was
to wake up.
Yes,
and you
yes.
needed this diagnosis.
I needed this diagnosis. I believe that life sends us many signs before such a strong diagnosis. But I didn't really listen to these signs.
Can you explain which signs there were?
Oh, well, I didn't feel very happy. I was full of fear. Yeah. I somehow was struggling with life on many levels. Yeah. I still am a single mom, and I was struggling to take care of us financially, to find enough work and to get it all going. And yes, things didn't go so well, and actually became more and more difficult. And I became more and more stressed and more fearful. And but I didn't change anything. I continued on the path I was on.
Why didn't you change? You said there were some signs.
Well, because I didn't know how. I didn't know how to change. And yeah, I just didn't see a way out of this whole structure I felt my life was in. I felt helpless.
It was a lack of information, or?
No, it wasn't a lack of information, not at all. I was very informed, and I've always been on this path of personal development, spirituality. I've been to gurus in India. I've done so many things, because I always felt a lot of pain inside of me. And so already as a young woman, I knew that life could be somehow different. Yeah. So this was my motivation. So I started to search. I was traveling all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading so many books. So I was very informed, but I didn't change anything.
So what was the clue, or what was blocking you? You knew everything.
I knew everything in my head. It was just knowledge in my head, but I didn't use this information to really integrate it in my being, and change my attitude towards life. And I think that's a very important factor. My attitude towards life was then based on fear, that everything is threatening, life is a struggle, versus like today, I would say, I have this deep trust in life, that everything is right and that I'm supported by life. But I didn't feel like that then.
Even if you were in India or some place, or with some gurus?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But this diagnosis was such a strong wake-up call that, I was confronted with a situation where I could possibly die. And this was a strong motivation to really live. To find out why I want to live, to find a good reason for myself to want to live, and to be willing to let go of the past, to let go of ideas of life that I had until then, and to step by step changed my attitude, how I dealt with certain situations.
Was it that easy? You got the diagnosis and you said, "Oh, I have to change." Was it that easy, or what happened when you found out about it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, the journey itself wasn't easy. No, no, it took time. But I knew right from the beginning when I had this diagnosis that this diagnosis is right for me. Yeah, I needed that. Yeah.
What sort of feeling is that? This diagnosis that's pretty weird, actually.
Well, yeah, and I'm aware of that. Yeah, that this can sound
I know
pretty
you're aware
weird.
of that.
And I have to say, a part of me was actually also almost relieved, because I just knew my life as it has been before. It's
you
now
didn't want
it's
it
gone.
Like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't want it anymore, and now I had this diagnosis. I just knew, okay, now it's all or nothing. Yeah, yeah, as simple as that. Yeah. And this made it kind of easy to move on. Yeah, even though of course my path was also full of fear and doubt, and am I doing the right thing? And yes, so it was challenging. But
and the deepest moment of your life was the diagnosis? The most terrifying moment? Was that the turning point?
I think that was one turning point. But I had an even deeper turning point, actually, because after the diagnosis, I started to inform myself, and I started to do a lot of things for physically, like detoxifying my body, taking a lot of supplements. I had so much discipline to take this at 9 o'clock and then this and drink all my smoothies, and I changed my nutrition, and I changed so many things, and it was actually quite hard work, to make my juices, and it all felt very good, doing all these things, because it got me out of this mode of helplessness.
Yes, I think it's very important to do something, to know that you can do something. I think this is very, very important. Yes.
And for my mind, this was also helpful, because I was reading stories how people just heal themselves by eating raw food or juicing. There are so many, possibilities. So for my mind, this was very good. I knew I was doing all these good things.
And I think this is also a very important message that you have, that when you get a diagnosis, that you look at positive things. When you put cancer in Google, you see all sorts of terrible diagnoses and stories. So it's a little bit hard to find the good stories, right?
Yes. Especially in Germany, it was quite hard. But I'm actually blessed that I speak this wonderful language. I speak English, and I could just really inform myself worldwide, globally. And there are a lot of healing stories, especially in the US.
And you're building up a website, healnow.org, where there will be structured healing stories from all over the world.
Or inspirations,
Yes, or
things that just really helped me on my path. Well, but anyway, I did all these things, and then after 6 months, I had a blood test, and my tumor markers had risen enormously. I mean, it was very, very shocking.
So how come you did all the good things?
Yes.
How did this happen? You
Interesting
did everything
question.
right.
Very interesting question. Yeah. Now looking back, I would say I did all these things because I had so much fear. Yeah, I wanted to do everything right, and all these things I did were based on a feeling of fear. Yeah.
And this is a very important message,
Yes.
that you can do the best things there are. You can have the best doctors, you the best supplements or whatever. If you do it out of fear, then it might not shine as much as this method could shine, possibly.
But this, of course, is easier said than done, because I think with this kind of diagnosis, there is a lot of fear, and it's very human to feel fear. Yeah.
It's a fear of dying.
Yes, it's a fear of dying.
Suffering.
I think I've spoken to many people who had this diagnosis, and it's not the fear of death. It's the fear of suffering and a slow death. Yeah,
all the really images we have in the society on cancer and how you end this cancer.
Yes.
There are a lot of terrible images that are going around.
Yes. And I was full of these images, and I was full of this fear. And so after 6 months, these tumor markers weren't good at all. So this was
even deeper.
Even deeper.
You did everything.
Wake up, turning point. Yeah, it was, wow. So at this point, though, I started to meditate.
So how, you were frustrated? What were your feelings?
No, I was desperate. Yes, I was desperate.
You were really desperate.
I was very desperate because I felt I had really done so much, and I was very desperate, because also I just didn't really know what to do now.
And did you think there might be another way, because you did everything you knew you should do?
Well, I knew, for one thing, I knew that it would be essential for me to get to the root of why I became sick in the first place. Because I believe that all these things like operation or different treatments, they may be fine, but if I don't get to the root cause,
it might still be in the body.
Yeah, and it will come back at another place in the body. I was convinced of that.
But only after the second turning point. Before that, you thought you did with vitamins and this method.
No, I also knew then that I had to get to the cause. Yeah. And I was looking at a lot of things in my life. Yeah. I did. Yeah. But I was looking outside mainly. I went to different healers, hoping they could kind of, untangle this knot inside of me. I did a lot of different things, and past life regression and energy healing. But I didn't really feel that was I knew there was something else for me to connect. And I knew that there is a power that I could connect with, a power, an intelligent power, that is in everyone, and I knew I could learn to connect to that, to get my own answers.
You were deeply frustrated.
I was deeply frustrated.
Desperate.
I was desperate.
How did you come to this next step?
Well, I came to this next step because I did have informations. I'm a great fan of Joe Dispenza, who wrote this fabulous book, You Are the Placebo. I knew about him. I had been reading his books years ago, and I knew now was the time for me to get this information in my head down to an experience, and that's what kind of excited me, to experience that.
But you didn't think of that before when you got the diagnosis?
I thought of it before, but I wasn't that motivated to really sit down and meditate every day. Yeah, I thought I could find another way, and didn't believe that I could really find this switch inside of me.
You didn't believe in your power.
No,
You thought
I didn't
you needed
believe in
something
my
from
power.
the outside.
Yes. Yeah, so it was a journey. Yeah, so at that point I started to meditate, and after 3 weeks I had another blood test, and my tumor markers were absolutely normal.
Wow.
And from then on I just knew, okay, this is the path. Yes.
So I think this is a very important message. The power is inside you.
Yes.
Yes. We think everybody has the power to heal. There is something in us which makes us sick, and this something, or maybe another something, can also heal ourselves. So we don't really need to search in the outside.
Yes.
And that's why I really, really, really want to bring this idea into kindergarten and schools. So I think if you learn this at a very, very early age, that you are empowered and you have this power and wisdom inside, then I think the whole medical system will change, and many, many other systems will change, because when it's a very good way to come out of fear if you know you are empowered to do such things.
Yes, and that's what excites me, that I really want to encourage people to connect with this intelligent power inside. Yes.
And that's why we're doing this here, just to encourage people, to inspire people, and to show them some ways how this could work.
Yes.
It doesn't cost anything. It's free of charge. It's always with you. It's the power of imagination.
Yes.
It's not a really meditation, what Joe Dispenza offers. It's an imagination.
I think it's basically changing your frequency. Yeah. By knowing we are an energy field. We are not just this physical body. Yeah. We are an energy field. And we're sending out signals all the time. We are broadcasting, and we are receiving. Yeah, and depending on what we broadcast, and I think that's the challenge, to change, if we want to experience something else, to change what we are broadcasting. And this takes, for me, I can only speak for myself. It took practice. It took a lot of practice, everyday practice, to change my habits of thinking, by starting to feed my body with new informations, feelings, emotions, images.
Yes, I think you can change the energy or the vibration, as you said it, by another set of inner images.
Yes.
And you visualized images of feeling happy and joyful.
Yes. I think the main thing is to focus on feeling the emotion. The emotion is so important, to really imagine, what would it feel like if my body is totally healthy. And I learned to connect with this feeling. How would it feel like? What if my body was already completely healed? And
did you believe that?
Yes, I did believe that.
Okay.
Yes.
From the very beginning.
I did believe that I did believe that this is possible. I didn't believe then that I could do it. It took me a while to find that belief in myself, that of course I can do it. Yes. And that's again the journey from feeling this like this victim to being a creator. And to believe that I'm a creator. But slowly I found this belief and this trust, and could just immediately also, I could experience changes, because manifestation is actually instant, yeah, depending on where I put my focus, yeah. And I could feel, oh wow, if I focus on this kind of image that my body is healthy, I feel good. Joy, yeah. Yes. It's a beautiful, it's a really good feeling, yeah. And then fear came again and said, oh yeah, well, but you could be wrong, you could be dying. And to slowly, yeah, come out of this and say, okay, hi, and to switch again to, but I want this, yeah, and starting to train my mind, yeah, to look in a certain direction, yeah.
So joy first was an image, then it became a feeling,
yes,
and through that it became an experience and a bodily chemistry.
And it's immediate. I mean, I could really, I've observed this so many times, over these last years, that depending on where my focus was, what kind of mindset I was on, you know, when I was in fear, I suddenly started to have symptoms. I didn't feel very good. I had some itching here. Yes. So frequency. Yeah. So it was like the spiral. Yeah. And
actually fear is not a natural state of life. If fear would be the natural state, I think evolution wouldn't have progressed. My belief is that spontaneous joy is our natural state.
Yes, absolutely.
But fear is quite normal in our society, but it's not natural.
Yeah.
Natural is spontaneous joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really important to come back to that.
Yeah, but I think it's easier said than done. I think for me it took a lot of also letting go of parents, like I don't listen to the news, for example. Yeah, I started to really observe what makes me feel happy, and this situation or these people. So I started to break friendships,
to cut off relationships,
and I started to learn to say no.
Very important.
I didn't know how to do that before. I really didn't.
I think it's very important to say no and to see what people help you on your path and what people don't do it at that time.
Yes.
And I remember I told you I was at a speech with Anita Mojani a few days ago, and even after she healed the cancer, she moved away from her city or the part of Hong Kong where she lived because she didn't want to be confronted with these people, these people who mirrored her cancer experience anymore.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's very important to say no. Maybe no to a job, no to a partner, no to a thought, to get out of this.
Yes. Especially also no to a thought.
Yes. In Germany, we have a comedian, he died about, 30, 40 years ago, and he said, never believe what you think.
Yeah. That is so important. Yeah. That's what I also really learned in this time. Just this mind, I had so many stories going on, horrible stories, and to really bring them to a halt, and by either through consciousness, recognizing, okay, stop, or by really connecting with my body, to breathe and to come into the moment, to come into a presence, into here and now.
Okay, so maybe thank you so much, you both of you. Let maybe in terms of wrapping up, I think this thought of don't believe your thoughts, especially I think if it's about cancer, I think it's a message. I think it's really important to bring over.
Yes, and be rebellious towards any thoughts there are about cancer.
Yeah, I think this is a very important thing. Be rebellious about anything, any thoughts about cancer. So let's wrap up a little bit and let's say to our audience once more, what can they expect in the near future? So in 4 weeks, we will be on broadcast again. This time I think we will do a little bit more of promotion of this broadcast. We had a soft launch, so we didn't announce it so much. We're testing it because we're not so much sure if technology was working, but I think this time everything worked very fine. And so next time we will do, I think we can dare to promote more, to invite more people to it. And also so you can actually write us your questions in beforehand. So Alexandra and Bettina can answer to it. We broadcast, first of all, we broadcast on Zoom, so you can participate in live and also ask live questions, and you can give your comments and your history. So it's really important, I think, that you can participate. This is, I think, the objective behind. And sure, you can watch on Facebook. And there's also, Alexandra, a Facebook group you are going to create, or you have created.
No, we haven't created it yet. We will do it. It will probably be called Beyond Bumps and Dumps. We really want to be this group encouraging and positive and respecting the individual paths there are. So we are really looking forward to a community of mutual encouragement and joy.
Yes.
So if you listen to this recording of the replay, which you can watch on YouTube, you can watch on Facebook. So just think about it. If you want to come next time for the live broadcast, it's every Tuesday at 12 noon Pacific time or 8 p.m. London time. So you're most welcome to join in live and ask questions directly to Alexandra and Bettina.
But we won't be there on every week, but every month.
Every month, yes. Every 4 weeks you will be there.
Till summer, and then we see how this develops.
Exactly. So this is a project, and so we invite you to participate in this beautiful project. So thank you for being here, and yes, Alexandra.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Open your heart and start.